Hey yo, what's up? I'm at Pettigene State Park, and yeah, I'm gonna try to get in this kind of put together 8-mile loop today. But this is a really cool place, and I really want to show you some of the rock formations and waterfalls and stuff. So anyway, I think, yeah, maybe this is the start of the trail. Like that. So I took this hike a couple of months ago, and I think this was the third time that I've done this loop. So I knew the trail was doable for me, but I also know that the trail was fairly tough, and it always challenges me a little bit, either mentally or physically or both. I forgot my trekking poles today, so we'll see how that goes. But the pack's a lot lighter because I didn't put really no food in it. Really, it's always a physical challenge, and because of that, it's always a mental challenge. It's hard for me to separate the two, especially with these walks in the woods, because as soon as my body starts suffering a little bit, my mind starts struggling to stay focused on what I'm doing or to finish what I'm doing. And honestly, I think that's what I love about backpacking so much, because this is where I feel good and this is my comfort zone. But to do the level of hiking that I want to do, I have to push myself to some level of discomfort. And that's because I want to be out here longer, and I want to go to more secluded places, more rugged places. They're usually prettier to look at, and there's usually less people, which I enjoy. Oh wow, it's really dry down here. I don't know what falls is going to look like, if there's going to be one. And I think about this a lot, especially on these long walks in the woods, that to get inside of my comfort zone, I usually have to get way outside of my comfort zone. And I know for myself that I don't do that enough. I don't get far enough out of my comfort zone, or I don't do it often enough. And I do think there's some point to where you can get outside of your comfort zone too much. But that's not the case with me, and so there's always these things that I have to push myself to do. Now with the hikes, it's easy because I want to be out here and it just seems natural to me, and this is the easiest place for me to push myself physically and mentally. But there's other things that I want to achieve in life that it's a real struggle to force myself into doing something, and it's usually got more to do with a learning curve than some kind of physical challenge. And so that came up on this hike because I wanted to film this hike, but I didn't want it to take away from the experience. Even though I've done this trail a few times, I think this is a really special place, and it reminds me a lot of some of the places back in Alabama that I liked so much. And so, yeah, I wanted to film it. I enjoy filming stuff, but I didn't want it to take away from the experience. But to do this, I was going to have to learn a new skill set, and it's one that I've put off for years because I did not want to mess with it. I've tried it before, and it's really annoying. And this may sound silly to y'all, especially if you're good with computers and technology, but this was a real challenge to me. And all it was to learn how to do voiceovers, and do that I was going to have to use a more advanced software than what came on my computer. And yeah, I really want to be able to make decent videos and use some of this technology, but I really do not like learning things on computers. It's a slow process for me, and it's not natural to me. But I started on this hike, and I realized that talking and filming at the same time was going to take away from it, and I didn't want to give that up this day. I've sort of made a deal with myself that I'd just take the walk, put my backpack on and do my thing and enjoy myself, take some footage, which that's the fun part to me. But if I done that, I was going to have to learn. First, I was going to have to get some editing software and then learn how to use it to do these different things afterwards, so that I could do a voiceover, put faults on video, and make something that I was proud of. And if I didn't do that, I was not going to allow myself to put this video out. And that, I think, is what pushed me to do it, because I wanted to see this again and make something I was proud of, but I really wanted to show this to people. I wanted to show it to y'all. I wanted to watch it over again. Really dry on the creek. We cross up here. It's a pretty cool little crossing. And that's why y'all are just now seeing this trail. It took me 2 months to get to this point, but I finally completed the project. And honestly, I thought it would take me longer, because this was not a pleasant process. But now, it's pretty easy to me, and I feel quite comfortable using this. I can sit here and chill out with the new software and the new tablet. I didn't mention that, but the tablet was gifted to me. And I can sit here with the 2 of them, and I've gotten pretty familiar with it, and it's actually easier for me to make the videos now, and I can make them, in my opinion, a lot better than they used to be. But the last 2 months, figuring this out, for most of that, has been a real pain in the ass, and I wanted to give it up several times, but I knew that I was going to have to learn this good enough that it becomes somewhat natural to me, because that's what I want my videos to be. I want them to be artistic and natural and something that's genuinely me. Yeah, I had to really step outside of my comfort zone to get to that. But now that I've done it, I feel so much better, because I feel like now I'm going to start making the videos that are more of what I wanted to make to begin with, and have more fun with them. Like, it's a skill set, and learning a new skill set makes people feel better, and I think it makes us feel better because it's self-improvement that came about because we faced fears and accepted new challenges. And like I said earlier in the video, I know that I need to step outside of my comfort zone more often, more extreme, and I need to do this so that I can make myself a better person. But what I've been trying to figure out recently is more so how to be more intentional with that, because I don't want to be uncomfortable just for the sake of being uncomfortable. If I step outside of my comfort zone, it is ultimately to achieve another level of comfort in my life and to have a better quality of life and be a happier person. And that's really got me to thinking here lately, is maybe what I need to do is define what comfort is to me specifically, because comfort can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. On one hand, comfort to me could be as simple as feeling safe and not fretting and not having to deal with change ever. But on the other hand, comfort means not being stressed and not being anxious, and ultimately being in a state of mental well-being. And this is where I have to make a decision, because in order to maintain a healthy mind, I have to accept change. When Richard Perkins talks about natural ecosystems, he teaches this concept that there is never a point of stasis in nature. There is only exponential growth and exponential death, and that this is one of the fundamental basics of biology. And I believe this, and I also believe that this applies to a healthy mind and a good quality of life, and that a good quality of life doesn't just maintain itself, but it's something that we have to maintain by continuously moving up, by learning new things, by challenging ourselves, and ultimately accepting change. And doing all of this so that we can experience that exponential growth to the best of our ability.